Oh.
Do not disturb. I believe that's what the sign on the door clearly says.
I apologize, miss.
You know, it's trying enough, sir, to have to endure these second-rate facilities passed down from the men's teams. But to also be denied privacy is quite unacceptable.
I'm very sorry.
Or perhaps you're some kind of peeping Tom.
Sir, there's no sign of, hi.
Excuse me.
George, come here.
Just give us a moment. Victor Bernard's locker, no doubt.
Yes. Masonic cipher.
Why would she record that? Sir, this list of charities. Our lodge has raised money for each and every one of these. Sir, I think this is the audit that Brother Winters was speaking of.
Yes, it would seem Victor, or whoever she was comparing lodge accounts against those of the actual charities. George, we have to get Higgins to find out everything we can about the treasurer, Mr. Boswell, sir.
Excuse me. That is private property.
Yes, the property of a dead woman, I'm afraid.
Her name is Grace Reed.
You know she died in a Masonic lodge, dressed in men's clothing.
Yes, how strange.
And aside from playing on this women's basketball team, it appears she'd been living out her life as a man.
Really?
She was also deathly afraid of someone. We followed that person to this location. Do any of you know who he is?
No, sir.
You played basketball with her, yet you knew nothing about her.
Sorry, Detective, but outside of these walls, none of us knew anything about her.
They're lying.
You're very good, Miss Ogden.
I tell you, when you grow up playing with country club boys, you learn a thing or two.
Lucky for us, you dropped in. Back to it. Julia Ogden, have I understood you correctly? You're an unwed doctor living alone.
Yes.
A modern-day bachelor girl. Well, I think that's about the most blissful thing I've ever heard. Father would rather see me married, bored, and unhappy than living a life so free. He barely tolerates my secretarial work at the law office.
It was a bit of a battle to be where I am, but I have no regrets.
And the men with whom you work, do they think you brazenly improper?
Who knows what men think?
How true. Julia, would you be interested in coming on a little adventure this evening? Just a little fun amongst us girls.
Sir, this is a gentleman's club. Are you sure Dr. Ogden meant the omen?
That's what Higgins wrote down. Guests of Dr. Ogden's.
What are we looking for, sir?
I have no idea.
Have either of you a light?
Sorry.
Thank you.
Not at all.
Julia.
Dr. Ogden, you look like a man. Like a pretty man.
I had no idea a man's suit could be so comfortable. It's delightful not wearing a corset.
Julia, what on earth are you doing?
You wanted me to find out what the basketball team was hiding.
And
Look around you. Look closely, will you?
do you recognize any of the men in this photograph? The women's basketball team. exceedingly convincing. What are they doing here? And why dressed like that?
It's a sort of club. They seek experiences that give them liberties exclusive to men.
Sir. There.
Hello.
It's our man with the cane.
Mrs. Winters, if you'll follow me, please.
Where are you taking her?
The rest of you, please have a seat. I have some questions about Grace Reed's murder.
Doctor,
Yes, Inspector.
let's talk in my office, shall we? You too, Murdoch.
Junior? You rat.
Well, it's obvious. This lot either killed Grace Reed or at least had something to do with it.
In a Mason's lodge, I don't see how that's obvious.
They did lie to me.
They were afraid.
Prior to her death, someone had been following Grace. Was it you?
No, not Miriam. Someone else was following Gracie.
Who?
I don't know, but she was being followed. And then when she was murdered, we were afraid we might be next.
Is that...
Gracie didn't care about marriage or family life so much as she wanted to have a career. But nobody will hire a female accountant, so she interviewed for the position as a man.
And then she got the job.
Yes. And it was so exhilarating being independent. But then several weeks ago, she began to feel like she was being watched. I mean, at first we thought she was being paranoid.
Why did you change your mind?
Well, then Miriam saw him too.